So hello everyone, in this video we'll be discussing about margin and padding. I already gave you a glance of this margin and padding, but let's understand it in this video properly. So margin and padding is basically the gaps. So margin is around the container or outside the element. If you want a gap outside the element, then you'll be using margin. And if you want the gap inside the container or inside an element, then you will be using padding property. So basically in this you can see the top left and right and the bottom is having some gap, but in the padding there is no padding inside the box. So for padding there is no padding inside the box, but the margin is there a little bit, you can say. So I can give some margin by adding a margin property here. Margin is the property that gives margin. So if I add a margin property, let's say 10 pixel, so this 10 pixel will be applied around this box. So around this container, this div container. So you can see the 10 pixel is increased around it. Okay. Similarly, if I let's say double it, you can get the idea. So now there are two boxes, you can see. So these two boxes are having some margin. If I increase that, so it will take up the margin from all the direction, not from the left, not from the top, but from the all direction. It will take the margin from the left, from the top, from the right, from the bottom, from all the sides. So this is the margin property. Similarly, if you want more margin than top direction, so you'll be using margin top property. Similarly, if you want the margin from the bottom, then you'll be using margin bottom. And if you use margin left, then it will give you the margin from the left side. Then there is margin right. So let me just give the margin left here. And I want margin left to be 100 pixel. So this margin property will give 50 pixel in all the sides, like in the top, in the bottom, in the left, in the right, in all the direction it will give that. But if I tell this that I want margin left this 100 pixel and I declared it after this margin property, then this is the updating or the updated margin from for the left direction. So it will take up this margin left, not the 50 pixel. So for only left side it increased it a margin, you can see that. Similarly, I can do it for the other directions as well, like margin top and bottom, that you can do by yourself. We can also specify multiple values here in the margin property. So if I specify, let's say 100 pixel, so what this means is if I specify two values, so this means this is going to take the top and bottom margin, and this is going to take left and right margin. So now you can see it is increased. If I increase this more, so you can see left and right margin is increased. And if I increase this one, then it will increase the margin from the top and bottom direction. Then we have a third value as well. If I give the third value, let's say 50 pixel. So what this means is that this is the margin for the top, this is the margin for the left and right, and this is the margin for the bottom. So this is actually the case. So if I do that, now you can see left and right margin is this one. So if I increase this one, so it will increase it left and right margin. And if I increase this one, so it will increase the margin from the bottom side. So it is for the top, it is for the bottom, it is for the left and right. And if I give the margin the fourth value as well, Then this is the value for all the sides. You have specified that in a universal or a shorthand property in margin. So this is 100 pixel for top, this is for the right, this is for the bottom, and this is for the left. So basically it goes like a clock, you can say. So the clock goes from the 12, then it goes to the 3, then it goes to the bottom, then left, and then goes back to the top. So top, then right, then bottom, then left. So it is top, right, bottom, left. So these are the different values I have given to the different sides. So the left side is taken up by 400 pixel, and similarly this one is the bottom one, this one is the right one, this one is the bottom one, this one is the top one. So this is actually the margin property. Similarly, I can give some padding as well. So the padding is for inside the container, or the gap inside the container. You can see I have added one text which is a little bit smaller, so I can give some padding to it. If I try to give 10 pixel, so it just like the margin, it will take up the padding inside the container. So you can see the container is increasing its size. Why? Because when we add padding, so the padding is added to the width and the height as well. So you can see the 300 pixel is the width. Now we have added, so this is the width, let's say. So this is the width. If I increase the padding to 10 pixel more, then the right will be having the 10 pixel padding, and the left will be having a 10 pixel padding, you can say. Then the size will be increased by 20 pixel in the width. Oh, 40 pixel. If I add 20 here, 20, then 40. And if I add 10 and the 10, then it will become 20 more. And same goes for the top and bottom, which is for the height. If we increase the padding from the top and the bottom, then it will increase the height as well. So if it is 400 pixel of height, if I increase padding from top, then is 410. And if I increase the padding from bottom by 10, then it will increase by 420. Similarly, we can consider the other sides as well. So basically we can specify the padding what we want. So if I specify 50 pixels, so it will increase the padding from all the directions by 50 pixel. So it is, you can see the gap is much larger inside the container, and the this box is increased by 50 from all the sides. So 50 and 50 top and bottom, 100 pixel height is increased, 50 and the 50 100 pixel width is increased now. So now it is 400 pixel of width. Similarly, you can increase the padding from one side as well, just like we did in the margin. We can specify the margin top. It will increase the margin from the top direction, not from the all direction. You can see only the top padding is increased inside the container. Basically, margin and the padding has only one difference, that padding is inside the container and the margin is outside the container. So you can see this box is increased uh, and came down from the top because I have increased the padding. That's why. Similarly, I can increase the padding from the left as well. Let's say I want the padding from the left 100 pixel as well. So it will increase that padding, and you can see the width is increased now. And one more thing that you can do is you can increase the padding and padding left, right, bottom, anything you can give. But one more thing I want to tell you is that in the padding property, we cannot give negative values. Let me just remove all these properties. I can give the margin in negative values. So if I do this, you can see no margin is there. But there is one thing that I can give margin top in negative values as well. So if I add this, if I add margin top minus 100 pixel, so it will go to that direction only. So it will go to the top direction, not below the top direction. So earlier it was moving far from the top direction if we added the plus value. So let me just do this. So it was going down because I increase a margin from the top, right? But if I add this value in negative, so it will go towards the top direction, not far away from the top direction, right? So this is the case. You can see it is going in the top, not away from the top. Same goes for the other sides as well. If I increase the left and if I give it a minus, so it will go in the left direction. You can see it is invisible now. Similarly, we can give to the other direction, we can give the negative values to them. But this is not the case for the padding property. So we cannot give any negative value here. We cannot give negative padding, right? This is the case. So nothing happens, you can see. Nothing happens when we give any negative value to a padding property. One more thing I want to discuss is when we increase padding, let's say I increased by 100 pixels. So I told you that it will increase from all the direction, right? Let me just give some margin as well. Let me just give the 50 pixel margin. And if I increase the padding from the left only, so now you can see the width is increased by 100 here and the 100 here. So 200 more. But let's say I don't want the width to be increased. I want only the 300 pixel of width. So let me just remove this and show you what is the width of 300 pixel. So this is basically the width. But I want the 100 pixel padding in the left side, but I don't want the width to be increased. I want only this width. So then we have one property which is called box sizing. We can specify box sizing property here, and we can specify border box. So what border box will do is it will not increase the width. You can see we have given the padding from the left side, but it isn't increasing the width actually. And same goes for the top direction. If I increase the padding from the top, let's say by 100, so it will not increase the height because we have given it. So we have given it, that's why it is not increasing the height, you can see. So this is called the box sizing property, and what it does I told you. So these are some margin and padding properties and the concepts about padding and margin. I hope you got the idea about this. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.